Well, hello. Today we are going to talk about the first law of power in our 30-part series of 30 laws of power. Well, power is something all of us crave for. To make the world come within the grasp of our hands is something everyone desires. But to do such a thing, what is required? What do we need to do? Huh? What is necessary? Not all of us are great leaders. Huh? There are certain laws in place that are unspoken laws. We call them the laws of power. So today we are going to talk about the very first law of power, to win through actions and never through arguments. This law is peculiar. Everybody can have a temporary win through arguments. Any momentary triumph that we have gained through argument is a temporary victory. More powerful to get people to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate. Here start with the example that in 131 BC, the Roman consul Publius Dives, laying siege to the Greek town of Pergamus, found himself in a need of a battering ram to destroy the town's walls. He had seen a couple of big ships with large masts in a shipyard in Athens a few days back. He ordered the largest of them to break the city walls. In Athens, there lived a military engineer. He was the best in the Athens. He knew that a larger mass would not solve the problem. Hence, they needed a smaller mass which could put up more force to break the walls. The engineer started arguing with the soldiers. The soldiers knew that their leader was not gonna understand and not spare his life. Still, after the soldiers left, the engineer talked to himself. He thought about it some more. What was the point, he asked himself, in obeying order that would lead to failure? So he, by his own will, sent a smaller mast, confident that the that Publius will see how much advantage he had received reward him reward him justly. When the smaller mast arrived, Publius asked his soldier for an explanation. They said how their engineer sent the smaller mast himself, that Publius, angry and enraged, did not care about the siege. He went to the engineer and asked an explanations. The engineer gladly explained him the reasons for a smaller mast again and again. He argued with Publius, and after the argument was over, Publius just stripped him naked before the soldiers and scourged him with rods until he died. The military engineer was an arguer, the type found everywhere in our society. The arguer does not understand the words are never neutral, and by arguing with a superior and more powerful person, he has dig he dug his own grave. When he argues more, He keeps on digging his own grave. Once he has made other person, the superior, feel uncomfortable, insecure, and inferior, the superior won't leave a chance but to destroy him. It is not simply a question of avoiding an argument with those stand above us. We all believe we are the masters in the realm of opinions and reasoning. We must be careful, learn to demonstrate the correctness of our ideas indirectly, not with arguments. In the realm of power, we must learn to judge our moves by long term effects on other people. The problem in trying to prove a point or gain victory through argument is that in the end, we can never be certain how it affects the people we are arguing with. They may appear to agree with us politely, but inside they may resent us. Or perhaps something that we said even offended them. Words are insidious. Ab- Words are insidious ability to be interpreted according to others' person mood and insecurities. Even the best argument has no solid foundation, for we all have come to distrust the slippery nature of words. And days after agreeing with someone, we often revert to our old opinion out of sheer habit. We must all understand this. Words are dime a dozen. Everyone knows that in the heat of an argument, we will say anything to support our cause. We will quote the Bible, refer to the unverifiable statistics. Who can be persuaded by bags of air like that, huh? I certainly cannot take anyone seriously like that. Action and demonstration are much more powerful and meaningful. There they are before our eyes for us to see. There are no offensive words, no possibility of misinterpretation. No one can argue with demonstrated proof. As Baltasar Gracian remarks, the truth is generally seen, rarely heard. Sir Christopher Wren was England's version of Renaissance man. He had mastered the sciences of mathematics, astronomy, physics, and physiology. Yet, during his extremely long career as England's most celebrated architect, he was often told by his patrons to make impractical changes to his designs. Never once did he argue or offend. He had other ways of proving his point. In 1688, Wren designed a magnificent town hall for the Westminster. The mayor, however, was not satisfied. In fact, he was nervous. He told Wren that he was afraid of the second floor was not secure and that it could all come crashing down on the first floor. He demanded that Wren added two stone columns for the extra support. Wren, the consummate engineer, knew that these columns would serve no purpose and that the mayor's fear was baseless. But he built them, and the mayor was grateful. It was only years later that the workmen on a high scaffold saw that the columns stopped just short of the ceiling. They were dummies. Both men got what they wanted. The mayor could relax and Wren knew posterity would understand that his original design worked and the columns were unnecessary. The power of demonstrating an idea is that your opponents do not get defensive and therefore more open to persuasion. Making them literally and physically feel your meaning is infinitely more powerful than argument. The most powerful persuasion goes beyond action into symbol, the power of a symbol. a flag, a mythic story, a monument to some emotional event is that everyone understand you without anything being said. In 1975, when Henry Kissinger was engaged in some frustrating negotiation with the Israelis over the return of part of Sinai Desert that they had seized in 1967 war, he suddenly broke off a tense meeting and decided to do some sightseeing. He paid a visit to the ruins of ancient fortress of Masada, known to all Israelis as the place where 700 Jewish warriors committed mass suicide in AD 73, rather than to give in to the Roman troops besieging them. The Israelis instantly understood message of Kissinger's visit. He was indirectly accusing them of courting mass suicide. Although the visit did not by itself change their minds, it made them think far more seriously than any direct warning would have. Symbols like this carry great emotional significance. When aiming for power or trying to conserve it, it always looks for the indirect route. And also, we must choose our battles carefully. If it does not matter in the long run whether the person agrees with us or if time and their own experience will make them understand what we mean, then it is best not to even bother with demonstration. Save our energy and walk away. Never argue. In society, nothing must be discussed, only give results. And that's all for today's video and the first video of 30 laws of power. So hope you like this video. Please support this new channel. See you in the next video.